Hey guys, welcome back to Doki Doki Blue Skies. So we have done it. We have completed the Yuri route, and now we must choose between the childhood best friend Sayori and cute little Natsuki. Well, instead of just doing favoritism, I'm going to leave it to luck. And the way I'm going to leave it to luck is by using a quarter. Head is going to be for Sayori, and tails is going to be for Natsuki, okay? Ow, I just totally dropped that. We are going with the Sayori route. Okay, heads with Sayori. Okay. So now we're going to be doing with Sayori, okay? We already did this. Well, piss. I say let's go ahead and just do the beginning all over again, just in case there's anything new. Act 2 is usually when the new stuff comes on, but let's just go ahead and just do it just in case, okay? Because some people probably not going to watch this in one continuous effort, you know? And that's my understanding. What's this? This should be possible. Why am I here? How am I here? Did you bring me back? I don't see any other explanation. Why? We've already established that there's no happiness here, so why? Why can't I look at the script? Something's wrong. You didn't do anything, did you? Don't you understand? Are you trying to mess things up even more? How did you... Wait, I know. You've installed a mod, haven't you? That's why everything's been changed. Don't you think it's time to let us all go? What? You want everything to be like how it should have been? But... you really care about them, don't you? I wish... Never mind. If you really want to do it, I won't stop you. I've been fighting to take control of this game again, but if you want to play through the mod, then... well, I'll also come to the mod's control. So, do you want me to allow the mod's activation? Ah, I knew it. Salty, or whatever your name actually is, I truly hope that you can find happiness with your choice. Yay! Sigh. I lay in bed motionless, and stare up at the blank white ceiling. Last night was dreadful. The sound of thunder kept me up for hours. But today's another day, I guess. Let's just hope that it's at least a bit better. With another sigh, I begrudgingly drag myself out of bed and groggily begin the monotony of my daily routine. Making my way to the kitchen, I haphazardly rummage through the cupboards, looking for something to eat. Unfortunately, there's no tasty homemade breakfast awaiting me. Ever since my parents' divorce, I've been living off of whatever I find in the kitchen. I live with my mom, but she's always taking business trips abroad. So for the most part, it's pretty much just me at home. It's lonely, but I manage. Although I do miss the smell of bacon and eggs in the morning, breakfast used to be a family thing. Dad would read the newspaper at the kitchen table, while Mom would stand at the stove and fry up some famous sunny-side-up eggs. But all that feels like a long-forgotten memory. Well, at least breakfast is sorta sorted. A calorie mate. Not exactly the best start to the day, but it'll do. I do my own shopping since Mom's never home, but I usually stick to buying the bare necessities. The ease of using pre-made stuff has pretty much sapped me of the urge to cook meals for myself. With my food quickly finished, I head for the door. At the very least, the weather looks much better than yesterday's. Clear skies beat thunderstorms any day of the week. I'm still lost in my thought when I notice a familiar face. It's Best Girl! We have quite a history together. As children, we were basically inseparable. Although exploring, getting up at mischief, driving our parents wild. Typical things that young children do, really. As time went on, especially recent years, we started slowly drifting apart. In fact, I haven't properly spoken to her in a long time. It's a real shame, after all. We've shared a lot of fond memories with each other. I'm surprised to see her up so early. A couple of times I've glanced out the classroom window only to see her hurriedly walking along to school. We used to walk to school together, and although she was sometimes a little late to meet me, I never really minded. As we continued to drift apart, however, her lack of punctuality became more frequent. I just decided it would be better if I walked to school alone. Which meant that although I did get to school on time more often, it was quite lonely. Knowing her, she probably just got more and more lazy with time. After all, her dedication to sleeping seems to be unwavering. Ah well, still I've always enjoyed talking to her. Hey Sayori, I haven't seen you in a while, how have you been? She looks a little surprised at my appearance and question. I suppose I can't blame her. Oh, hey, Salty. I wasn't expecting to see you. That makes two of us. You're up early today, huh? She laughed softly, a misplaced look and frown on her face. I've been alright. Though not a whole lot has changed recently, you know? Well, I'm already off to a shitty start. Okay. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Life has been pretty routine these days. School's kinda meh, although I guess I could be worse. She nods as we both resume the walk to school. Although I can talk to her just fine, there's still an awkward air between us. Guess that's a given, seeing as this is our first proper conversation together in a long time. So we carry on making idle small talk, a sudden thought hits me. Anyway, this might come across a bit out of the blue, but seeing you're here, has it given me an idea? Oh? Well, it's been a while since we walked to school together. How about we start doing that again? Would you really want to do that? I'm not very fun to talk to and I'm always late. I frowned. It's really strange to hear Sayori say this, given I've always known her to have a bubbly, cheerful personality. Sayori, that's definitely not true. Well, that bit about always being late is true. I've always loved hanging out with you, and I think we have a lot of fun again. Besides, I've missed you. I've even helped you wake up on a time if you need me to. Damn, Salty, getting right into that action. Yuri-hoo! Was that a bit too forward? I don't know. I've never been in that sort of situation before. I mean, we are childhood friends after all, right? Really? Yeah, really. I've missed you too, Salty. Well, let's do it then. From now on, we'll walk to school together, okay? Okay. As there it is, and there it is, the classic Sayori smile I grew up loving. Beautiful. All the memories I have of us together as children feature that smile. No matter where we ventured, parks, playground, forest, that smile would follow. That innocent, childlike sense of adventure we used to have. It's painfully clear that it's long gone. But maybe we can still smile together anyway. So what have you been up to lately? You know, the usual. You mean games, anime, and manga, right? Yep, pretty much goes without saying. Oh, Salty, you haven't changed. Hey, are you saying that you think I need some change? No, it's perfect. There's always room for improvement. Especially in your case. I guess that's still your part of the Go Home Club. Hey, that's cuts a little deep. What do you want me to do? Join the soccer club and trip over everyone? Well, I think a little exercise is good for everyone. I'm very offended if you're trying to call me fat right now. Well, you don't have to join a sports club if you don't want to. Yeah, I was actually thinking of checking out the anime club. Wow, how'd you guess? It does suit my hobbies though, so Salty, you should try branching out a bit more. Okay, Miss Club Expert, if you're gonna criticize all my club choices, what would you suggest? Well, it just so happens that there's this club that I'm in. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm actually the vice president. Wow, I did not expect that. Awkwardly glances at camera. Dang, so you get to take part of an all-exclusive decisions. Oh, dang, so you get to take part in all the exclusive executive decisions, huh? Kind of. The club kind of only has 4 members at the moment, but it's really fun. We're actually looking for new members right now. So that's why she brought it up. Only 4 members. Sounds like you guys are just starting out then. What club is it anyway? It's the school's very own literature club. I unintentionally let out a sigh. Her face drops. I don't think that was quite the reaction she was hoping for. In my defense, literature has never quite captured my interest, unless you count manga as literature, that is. I knew it. You didn't want to join. I understand, though. Not many people like you. Oh, that's her. I knew it. You don't want to join. I understand, though. Not many people like reading. Hey, who said I didn't like read? Who didn't say I didn't like to read? I love reading, if you count manga. I muttered the last word more to myself than Sayori. Manga? On the plus side, Sayori laughs at my sheepishness. You sound like someone I know from the literature club. She talks about manga all the time. Oh, really? I am actually interested in your club, though. Oh, really? I am actually interested in your club, though. Sayori smiles, seemingly content that I'm throwing initiative. If I'm looking for a club to join, I guess the literature club is a good place as any to start. That's great. You should come by sometime. And by sometime, you're hoping for today, aren't you? The sooner the better. Alright, I'll have a look at school after school today. Yay! Thanks, Salty! Although we will probably hurry up. Don't want to be late now, do we? Yeah, you're right. Within a few minutes, we've arrived at school entrance, amidst a crowd of chatting students. We wave goodbye as we head off to our separate classes. I have Sakurai in the morning, so I'm fairly confident that the next hour or so won't be too bad. Who's Sakurai, you might ask? Only one of the coolest, most down-to-earth teachers we have in the whole school. Being on the young side himself, the experience of high school is much fresher in his mind than some of the other teachers, especially the older ones. He gave me a smile as I opened the door. Morning, Salty. How are we doing today? Not bad, sir. Same old, same old. How about you? Well, we finally started our module on 20th century history today, so needless to say, I'm excited. Oh yeah, First World War, Nazism, Second World War, that stuff. You bet. I've waited all year for this to start. Oh man, you guys are in for a real treat. That's something else I really admire about him. He's so enthusiastic about his subject, and that the enthusiasm really makes learning about history that much more enjoyable. Combined with the fact that he's fairly relaxed, especially when it comes to homework, you can really see why he's popular. Although he does have a strict side to him, of course, that side of him comes to light every now and again, so he isn't a pushover. By any large, he's earned the respect of his students for striking the balance just right. I just wish that all my teachers were as friendly and made an effort to know their students better. Ah well. I take a seat, and one of my classmates, Emmy, smiles and waves. Bouncy and energetic, she has a reputation for her skills on the track field. Even when she isn't running, she's still pretty much a ball of energy. Heya! We have one of those odd friendships where we get along well in class, but don't really see each other outside of school. How you doing, Emmy? Training was really fun today, Salty. Oh? She's always on the hunt for new recruits to join the track team, and she has a habit of dropping some not-so-subtle hints. Yeah, we're always looking for new people. I know you aren't part of any clubs, so you want to totally join us? It's funny you mentioned that. I'm not part of any clubs, actually. I think I'm going to check out the literature club after school. Ah, I didn't really think you were that poetic type. But if you ever get bored of writing poems, you know where to find me. How many times do I have to tell you that? Alright guys, let's make a start. It's almost criminal that I have to wait so long to teach my favorite century. You do like your Nazism, don't you, teacher? Well, that's the school lesson over. As I linger behind a classroom to gather up all my things, I hear the door open. It's Sayori. Hey again, Salty! Hey, the literature club's meeting today, right? Yeah, it is. I was just heading there now. Do you still want to come along? You betcha. Sayori seems to pick up, looking excited that I still want to come along to the club. Look at you, finally doing some extracurriculars. I mean, if you're the vice president, it can't be all that bad, right? She giggles, making me smile. Each individual club member makes it special. That's her. Each individual club member makes it special. Everyone works hard to have fun together. Well, let's not keep them waiting. It'd be rude to show up late. I wanted to make a good first impression, after all. I guess you're right. Come on, it's right this way, and it's up the stairs. I guess you're right. Come on, it's right this way, and up the stairs at the end. Okay. I follow Sayori down the hallway. She seems excited, and it's nice to know that I'm making her day at least a little bit better. The stairs lead up to a section of the school that I recognize as the third year's wing. Sayori leads me to the classroom and knocks on the door. Trust me, you're gonna love it! She's definitely enthusiastic about the club, that's for sure. After a seemingly long wait, the door finally slides open. A small pink-haired girl peeks out. Sayori? Peeks out further. Hey, Natsuki! Guess what? I found someone who wants to join our club! The girl, who is apparently called Natsuki, slowly turns and glares at me and narrows her eyes. Maybe I should call her real name, Natsuki. She opens the door fully, and behind her I see another girl sitting at a desk, her face buried in the book. What? Hey, wait, Sayori! Sayori practically pushes Natsuki out of the way. She seems excited to introduce me to the rest of the club members. Hey guys, I want to introduce you to our newest member, Salty. Sayori, hold up. It's a bit quick to call me the new member, isn't it? I then notice a third girl pick up from behind a bookshelf in the corner of the classroom. Can it be? Is that Monica? Monica is one of the most popular girls of the high school. Everyone seems to flock to her because she's smart, beautiful, athletic, you name it, she's got it. Unfortunately, this also means she's completely out of my league. She looks at me first with a stern look, but then quickly lines up, puts down the book she's holding, and rushes over. Ah, Salty, what a nice surprise! Welcome to the club! The girl who has her face buried in the book suddenly jolts up and looks right at me. She quickly snaps her book shut and timidly moves to join the conversation. She's like, I gotta kill myself. I don't know why it's with this guy, but I feel like I've made out with him and had sex in the previous Let's Play. I'm gonna carve my name into your face, so you won't forget it. A new member. My name is Yuri. Yeah. Holy crap, it seems that I've somehow lucked out. Not only is Monica in this club, but also a bunch of other cute girls. I'm glad I decided to come here instead of the anime club today. I think you made it to the anime club. You made it to the anime club, my dude. But everyone's gawking. Salty, stop staring and start talking. It's nice to meet you, Yuri. Like Sayuri said, I'm Salty. I smile at her and then turn to Monica. So it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? We have history. That's right. It's great to see you again, Salty. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. It's kind of strange to say, but having her smile at me so gently makes me feel a bit starstruck. That would be an interesting mod. I wonder if anyone's ever done that. Have they done a mod of the Literature Club the year prior? Like, I know it'd be kind of probably hard to do, but why would Monica... You could kind of balance it out as, you know, is she self-aware at this point of what her thing is, if you want to go the Literature Club route? Or just go do your complete other story where she does see your character and that's when she starts kind of developing like, oh. And maybe the forming of the Literature Club revolved around getting Sayori involved that would get you involved. Maybe I should make that mod, you know? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop. The powers of a school idol. You too, Monica. So you guys run a club with just the four of you then? Huh, Sayori told me about how you were looking for new members. Well, I've always actually been trying to push for more members for a while, but we haven't had any luck recently. Except now I got you, bitch. Sayori, did you say? Sayori did say. My words dry up in my mouth as Natsuki shoots me a piercing glare. She looks pissed at me, but for some reason, I don't know. I haven't really had any chance to do much besides walk in and say hello. Sayori, you brought a boy? Yeah, he told me he wants to join this morning. Not sure if it's just Sayori being an airhead again, but I don't recall promising that I'd join. Great. I don't know why Natsuki suddenly had a guy's voice. Oh, great. Maybe that's her voice. Can we switch up Natsuki's voice? Let's try it. Oh, maybe we should have done it for her Let's Play. I don't care. We'll try it a couple. We'll see if I remember. Natsuki glowers at us, holding her arm with an irritated huff. I don't really get why, though. Sorry about Natsuki. That's just how she is. She's a little standoffish to new members. Oh, it's nothing. I don't mind. Hey, I'm right here, you know. She's a smoker. Hey, I'm right here, you know. Sorry. I got to try to make a good impression, though. Come on, Natsuki. We need a new member. If you don't feel like being nice to Salty, can you at least be nice to me, please? Jeez, you don't have to make such a big deal of it. Fine. If you're gonna beg, I guess I have no choice. Hooray! Thanks, Natsuki. Looks like I know who the tsundere of the group is now. Not to mention the girl she in. It's almost comical to the extent of which Natsuki fits that trope. Well, maybe my view of the world is just clouded by anime influence, though. Anyway, let's get this conversation back on track. How'd you come to learn about the Literature Club, Salty? I'll have to admit, I'm a bit curious about that myself. Sayori and I were just walking to school, and she mentioned the club. Since I was sort of looking for a club to join, I figured that I would check you guys out. At any rate, Sayori was really enthusiastic about the Literature Club, so Monica beams at Sayori when she hears this. Guess Sayori has done a great job at advertising for the club. I see. Well, I think this is a great place to start. After all, a book can be very enticing. Yeah, it's super fun. I think the club is the only place where I can feel very comfortable later. Sayori's face falls for a moment, but she quickly picks herself back up. It's somewhere I can just sit and read while hanging out with friends. I think that sums up the club pretty well. After all, I started to bring together like-minded people who love literature, and you got you now, bitch. I'm really happy with how it turned out so far. It's very cozy. But enough introductions. Why don't you come in and take a seat? Do you bring anything to read? As she asked that, I realized I'm not much of a reader, much less of someone who loves literature. To be honest, I haven't thought this through very well. Would joining a club that focused on reading really be the best thing for me? So, no, I don't really have any books on me at the moment. I just haven't seen any good titles recently. I lie through my teeth, hoping Monica doesn't see through my facade. They obviously don't read much, but if they believe that I do, hopefully it'll help me relate to these girls. Oh well, we have plenty of books here. Want to check out that we have? I'm sure you'll find something that matches your taste. Is that so? Then I guess I'll head over there. Maybe something might catch my eye. I start to sweat nervously as I walk awkwardly over to the bookshelf. There looks to be good variety of books available, ranging in genre from horror and fantasy all the way down to nonfiction. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking of Natsuki's voice. Maybe we should just do this as a Natsuki route. I did flip a coin, and chance did tell me heads. Sheepishly, I turn towards... Well, we can't do. Well, we don't even have the choice to do Sayori right now. We already did Yuri. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, so do you have any recommendations? Take a closer look at the book. As I say that, to my surprise, I notice that there's a rather extensive collection of manga on the bottom shelves. When I glance back at the girls, I notice Natsuki staring down at the manga, too. Our eyes suddenly meet, and she looks away, blushing. Well, what do you like to read, huh? Honestly, I just read manga most of the time, so the collection down there caught my eyes. I don't know the manga was allowed in the classroom like this. Those are actually Natsuki's. Don't just say it like that. I just put them there while I was reorganizing the closet. Monica always messes with my collection when she goes in there, so I'm just trying to make more space for them. As she says this, Natsuki shoots a look at Monica, who smiles sweetly in return. Which series do you have? I've read a lot, but I don't think I recognize many here. Most of the book spines are vibrantly colored, with big blocky letters announcing the titles. The Boss is a Maid, Rice Ball Basket, Orange High School Nightclub. I've never heard of these series in my life. Oh yeah, baby. We're going the Natsuki route! That probably means that they're either way out of my demographic, or they're simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. I could tell by your expression. But I'll tell you one thing, Salty. Considering this is a lesson straight from the literature club, don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki stomps over to the bookshelf, elbowing me out of the way, and pulls a very pink book from a box set. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She unceremoniously shoves it right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It's the first volume of the series, titled Parfait Girls, and features 4 girls in colorful attire, strictly animated with feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Well, don't just stand there. Natsuki, have you considered that maybe Salty might not want to read this? Excuse me, who are you to say that Salty likes or dislikes something? I quickly broke in to try to relieve some of the sudden tension. Are they already going to start fighting? That's usually day 2 thing, right? Oh, it's our old saves! Bye-bye. I have to remember I started off at 1. Thanks for your concern, Yuri, but I'm definitely open to trying out new things. I don't usually read this stuff, but I'm willing to give it a try. Oh, alright then. Natsuki triumphantly smirks a bit, while Yuri abashedly looks away. I guess I can't satisfy everyone. Bye, Yuri. It was fun while it lasted. I've had thought you spend enough time in the literature club to not judge books by their cover either, Yuri. Manga can have such a deep of story. Manga can have just as deep of a storyline as your novels can. I never said that they can't, it's just... Yuri looks like she's holding herself back from saying something, or cutting herself. Just what? Just because they have pictures in them, they're childish or something? Well, that's the reason why people say a picture... Well, there's a reason why people say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sometimes there are things that are best described through art. Manga blends both good art and good writing and create fantastic stories. Oh god, I already feel my voice going. Plus, being able to actually see the character helps you to relate and empathize with them. Yuri thinks to herself, looking a bit perturbed. I see. I just meant that manga is a bit unorthodox as a medium. Well, manga is literature too. It's obvious that the two girls are having their differences. Yuri appears comparably more mature and timid, and seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Meanwhile, Natsuki seems to be a little bit more forward and outspoken. And although she looks like the youngest in the club, she clearly is just as passionate about her hobbies as the others are. Anyway, this will be your homework today, Salty. I'll let you borrow Volume 1 for tonight, so you can start on the next book tomorrow. But if you smudge or bend it, I'll kill you! You don't have to worry about that. I'm pretty protective. Don't kill me! Is it alright if I borrow it, though? I say the most because I really didn't plan on using it in my spare time to read this. Well, of course. It would take forever to finish if you only read it here. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose that's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. Or am I more scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? That's a good fear. Okay, then. The girls on the cover of the manga beam up at me, and I can't help but shiver a bit. I guess I shouldn't underestimate what high school girls are into. Hopefully I can get away with skimming through it. Make sure you read it through thoroughly, because I'll be quizzing you on it tomorrow. Is she a mind reader? In that case, I think I'll give it a shot now, actually. I want to make sure that I have enough time to finish it after that. Fine, but I'll be keeping a close eye on you then. I slided to a nearby desk as the rest of the girls dissipate, moving to work on their own thing. She's not so bad when you choose her over Yuri. I quickly stopped flipping through the pages. Given that the picture takes up the majority of the space in the pages of the manga, it doesn't take me long to get through the beginning. As I read, I start to become more aware of Natsuki sneaking peeks in my directions. She seemed instinctively focused on my face, as if wanting to see my reaction to her manga. I cleared my throat. Natsuki, did you need something? You seem to really like looking in my direction. I feel a smile creeping through as Natsuki starts to furiously blush and splutter. I'll do that over again. I'll feel a smile creeping through as Natsuki starts to furiously blush and splutters a response. You idiot! It's not like I was looking at you or anything. I was just staring into space, baka! Don't you have anything better to do? Yeah, of course. With that, Natsuki heavily turns away to seek refuge in the closet, where loud rummage sounds soon would follow. I guess I should keep on reading then. As it turns out, Parfait Girls is just as I imagined it would be. It's basically about a bunch of friends in high school and the cutesy hijinks they get themselves into. Typical slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. To its credit, it does manage to subvert some anime tropes quite neatly, though. The more I read it, the more I can see why it's appealing to Natsuki. All that talk about appreciating the expressiveness of art. While I don't exactly read romance manga usually, the artist actually does a good job of portraying the girls as their own characters. I often find that the girls in their kind of stories are bland and unoriginal, not to mention that they often suffer from the same face syndrome. So it's a pleasant surprise to find that the title characters are likable and unique in their own way. Still, over time, I can't help but grow a little bored, though. I decide I'll finish it later tonight and place the novel in my bag. Looking up, I spot Sayori's reading something. Might as well see what she's up to. Standing up with a stretch, I make my way over and take a seat next to her. Hey, how's it going, Sayori? What are you reading? As I sit down, I notice that she looks quite content. Nothing much, just reading some stuff for a school project. What about you? You seem to really into your book. Oh yeah, it was a good read. At least as far as I could tell right now. I can't help but wish I sounded a little bit more enthusiastic. That's great! So how about you liking the club? You're not bored, are you? She looks a little worried. Her cheerful persona falters for a moment. Where did the question come from? It's a bit too early to tell how I really feel about the club. Of course not, Sayori. Sure, I have been here for a long. I've enjoyed meeting everyone. It opened my eyes to new stuff. I've never been huge on reading, but I'm confident the Literature Club could change that. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You're involved. You don't want to join a club that you have no interest in, right? I know what you mean. I think reading will grow on me in time. Actually, do you mind if I sit with you and read? She looks at me, clearly surprised. I don't think she was expecting me to sit next to her, but nonetheless, she seems happy. Her smile is infectious, lifting my own spirits too. Is the game pushing me towards Sayori? Because it kind of seems like it. I don't remember this when we did the Yuri route. That'd be great, Salty. We read for a while, which turns into a talking fairly quickly. A conversation, I do remember this, begins a continuation of our chat from walk to school. It's nice to just sit and talk with childhood friends. We've been guessed reconnecting would be so easy. I haven't felt this content for as long as I remember. The good mood reflects on her as well, given that she seems very uplifting and bubbly. I don't know what it is about her that makes me so at ease. Wow, we've been talking for a bit, haven't we? Man, I didn't even realize the time. I guess we have been talking for a while. I can see why you come to Literature Club so much. There really is a welcome at ease vibe here. It must be a nice change of pace after how hectic the school day can be. I was hoping you'd say that, Salty. It really is, and I'm grateful for the others as well. They really helped to make the club the way it is. I can't help but notice that Natsuki and Yuri seem to be very different though. Do they? Oh, I can't help but notice that Natsuki and Yuri seem to be very different. Do they argue much? She looks a little downcast on question. Sometimes, yes, but thankfully it isn't often. I can sense that this isn't a topic she likes discussing. Well, that's only normal. I guess. Monica seems like a great president, though. She must be very proud of the club. Just then, Monica gets up from the desk she was sitting at and faces the classroom confidently. Speak of the devil. Okay, everyone, I hope we're all having a good time so far. There's a good moment of silence during which everyone seems to be glancing at me. Do they want me to respond? I'm honestly having a great time. Thanks for the warm welcome, everyone. Well, it's great to hear that, and as it turns out, Natsuki baked some cupcakes for the club, too. Yeah, I know. I was just about to announce it, so let me get to them. Let's go sit over there, Salty. It looks like there's room at those desks for all of us. I dutifully follow Sayori over to where the rest of the girls have pulled a couple of desks together to form a table. How about I make some tea as well? I used to get my throat harp from Yuri, now Natsuki. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling a bit awkward, I opt to take a seat next to Sayori. If the conversation starts to die out, I can always rely on her to save me. Meanwhile, Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Oh, wow. Oh, that hurt. Oh, God. Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate are used to make ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one. First, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouth full and already has managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Does she wait for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. If she made it all by herself, that's seriously impressive. It practically takes professional done to me. But then again, it's not like I have the most discerning taste palate. These cupcakes are amazing. Thank you, Natsuki. Hey, yeah, you better thank me, because that looked hard work to do. Because this took hard work to do. Yeah, it really seems like it. Did you make it yourself, or did your parents help you? Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Are you saying I couldn't have done it myself? Oh no, it's just that it seems professionally made. So I was wondering if you actually baked, if an actual baker helped you. I wish my dad was a baker, but just because I don't bake for money doesn't mean that I can't be good. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I just suck at cooking myself, so I'm wowed by good cooking. I guess I should count myself lucky that I got to try your cupcakes today, eh? Uh-huh. It's not every day that I have time to bake, so be thankful. The expression on Natsuki's face practically says, bow down before me, peasant. Are you expecting Salty to prostrate himself before you? Looks like Monika has the same thought. Ugh. You can't blame Natsuki for bragging a little bit. I would too if I made these. Yeah, exactly. Natsuki smiles gratefully at Sayori's save. Meanwhile, Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before sitting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. But that's not... Embarrassed, Yuri looks away. I meant that, Don't worry about it. I believe you. Tea and reading must not be a common pastime for me, but I can at least appreciate it. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monika raises an eyebrow and smiles at me. I'm glad that you look like you're enjoying yourself, Salty. As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Oh, that reminds me. I've actually been meaning to ask you something, Monika. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. Feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it's encouraging others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monika really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. But I guess it must be hard to start a new club, since everyone's probably settled into their own activities already. You could put it that way. It can be hard to get people invested in things that are brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work to convince people that you are both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the Culture Festival that much more important. Speaking of school events, I don't think I saw your club at the school fair at the beginning of the year. Oh, that's because I hadn't started it yet. Oh, guess that explains why you didn't have many members yet. Yeah, we missed the opportunity to draw on the first years who haven't found clubs yet. It's a lot harder to advertise on a person-by-person basis. And like you said, a lot of people already have other extracurriculars by now. But ever so, I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have really worked hard to find these three. Maybe that's why we were all so delighted by the idea of a new club member. Although I still don't really know if I can keep up with the level of enthusiasm about literature. By the way, I know that everyone here likes reading, but do you guys write as well? Actually, we haven't really done any writing together, funnily enough. Do you guys just read and discuss books then? You could say that. Sounds more like a normal book club than a literature club. Huh, to be honest, I was kind of expecting you all to do stuff like write poetry together. At the word poetry, Natsuki jumps back a bit. Do you not like poetry, Natsuki? What? I don't really have an opinion on it, I guess. Oh, really? Oh, my voice. With a sly smile, Monika gets up, rummaging through her book bag and returns with a loose notebook page in her hand. It happens to be a poem called, Hey, where'd you get that? Natsuki sprang up and snatches the paper out of Monika's grasp. Don't worry, I didn't steal it from your bag or anything. You dropped it on the way out the other day. I was going to return it, but I couldn't help tease you a bit before I did that. Well, I appreciate if you kept your nosy nose out of my private work. Duty noted. It's alright, I just couldn't help glance over your poem when I picked it up. Your writing style is really cute, Natsuki. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sides up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. That's nothing to be ashamed of. So you do write your own poems, Natsuki? Oh, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I just think that's pretty neat. Why don't you share them with the clubs sometimes? Not if everyone's just gonna call them cute. I'm gonna die. Like Sayori said, there's nothing wrong with being cute, you know? You wouldn't get it. There's nothing worse than trying to be honest. There's nothing worse than trying to get honest feedback from someone and just having them say it's cute. Scorn drips from the word cute. I guess I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, no one does. It's super annoying, you know. Actually, I believe I understand how Natsuki feels. Natsuki looks surprised at Yuri's sudden interjection. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. And once that all dismissed with a single remark, well, suffice to say, it can greatly discourage you from putting your work out there again. Sounds like both you and Natsuki have writing experience in common, Yuri. Maybe. Although I didn't mean to speak for Natsuki. Jeez, it's fine. I pretty much agree with what you said, so... A brief moment of silence falls upon us, as we all reflect on the conversation. This just gave me an idea, everyone. We all look quizzically at Monica, who smiles knowingly back at us. If we have members who are looking for legitimate criticism of their poetry, how about we do that here? I'm sure we could all trust each other to be respectful, and I think it'd be a fun activity for us. I didn't know if I feel comfortable sharing my old poetry. I didn't write to be read by the public, so... Yeah, same here. That's fine, we can all just go home and write new poems to read tomorrow. I was going to suggest that anything since... Anyway, since I don't think the rest of us have poetry ready to share yet. Yeah, that sounds awesome. All of a sudden, Sayori's been spoken. I think learning about poetry will be really fun. And now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little bit more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Salty? Monica smiles warmingly at me once again. The literature has been welcoming so far, at least after the initial introductions were made. And although I have to start to write poetry, it seems like a fair price to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. I had my doubts at first, but given how friendly and welcoming these girls are, I don't really see any reason why I shouldn't join the club. Yep, I'll be looking forward to becoming better friends with you all. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club. Thank you, Monica. Yay! I'm so happy you're joining us. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, and thanks for playing along, eh? She whispers the last remark in my ear, so she was aware that I'd never agreed to join in the beginning. That sneaky gal. Clever girl. Although Sayori is the most enthusiastic for all the girls' eyes are lit up in happiness. That was kind of a new thing, wasn't it? Sayori's... Okay, never mind. I would have been super pissed if you just left after eating my cupcakes. I'm very glad that you're staying as well. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Don't forget tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can hold discussions. Monica looks over at me once more. Salty, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress Monica with my mediocre reading and writing skills? Is my voice destined to die? Find out in the next episode of Salty Ball Z. Something tells me no. Jeez, I can already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Oh well, it's not like Monica's going to be harsh on as an actual literature teacher though, right? Meanwhile, the other continues to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey Sarah, since we're already here, you want to walk home together? Given that she introduced me to all these amazing people, it's the least I could do for her. Sure, let's head home. With that, the two of us waved goodbye to the others to make our way home. I'm going to go ahead and finish, going to another day's worth of stuff, so we're going to go ahead and do the poetry and such for now. Hopefully my voice doesn't keep up. That does hurt, though. That does hurt. I need to bring a drink with me again. Okay. On the way back, we discuss the events of the day, focusing particularly on each club member. As we do so, my mind wanders between them all. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika. I'm excited to hang out with everyone from now on. Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of them. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstance, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. So imagine a spoiler alert for the Yuri route. I hope, I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. You had to strengthen the bond with Yuri and Natsuki to get the best route for them, for Yuri. I wonder if that's the true with Natsuki. Do we need to strengthen the bond of Natsuki with Yuri? It's time to write a poem. Oh yeah, we know this. We're going with Natsuki, by the way. It's official. We're doing it with Natsuki. Oh, damn. Kawaii! And Bubbles. And I don't think I've ever done a Natsuki route. Skirt. And Manga. And Rainbow. Oh, poop. Strawberry? Okay. It's gonna be a little bit harder because Sayori and Natsuki have similar things. Fluffy. And I feel like that would be a... Yeah, I figured. Well, we know now. Parfait. And no, that would be raindrops, tears, fun, scriptural pleasure, misfortune, alone. Empty tears, raindrops? Charm. No, charm. Doki Doki. Flower, pout, whistle, pout. Yeah. Candy. And I did not mean to get to Sayori. I thought that would be for at least her. Damn. Sweet. And no! Fate might be getting us go on the Sayori route. Damn. Lollipop. And marshmallow. And pug pink. Bouncy? Okay. I'm gonna save. Yeah, we're on the... Salty, fancy meeting you here. Oh yeah, what a coincidence, huh? Seriously speaking though, I'm happy to see you're back here. I would have been disappointed if you ran away on us. I enjoyed myself last time, so why wouldn't I come back? True enough. Feel free to make your stuff at home before we start our club activities. Thanks, will do. Well, I'm back at the literature club. Sayori and I were at the last to come in, and everyone else is already hanging out. Oh, Salty, I'm glad to see you're here again. Who knew that something so simple would warrant so much thanks? First Monika, and now Yuri. I know that it must be overwhelming to be thrown into a new hobby so suddenly, but must such an organization centered around this hobby. So don't hesitate to let me know if you need any help. Oh, or any other club members for that matter. That is to say, feel free to ask any of us for assistance, but you better ask me. Right, thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Don't worry though, it's not like I'll never read anything before. I even remembered to write a poem for today, can you believe it? Wait. Well, believe it when we see it. Hey, it's not like I need to have a university degree to write a poem. It was just like another school assignment. Although it might not be a little new to me, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to write a bad poem, you mean? She's got me there. And that's why I never said I wrote a good poem. Natsuki smirks at me, seemingly pleased that I'm not offended by her teasing. Well, good. It's often subjective when it comes to subjects like these. I'm sure you did fine, Salty. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence. Tried not to overhype my work, though. Yeah, Yuri, if you keep expectations low, you'll never be disappointed. Besides, I bet this is the first extracurricular Salty's done since high school started. So extra work is probably really foreign to him. Again, she's not wrong, but she doesn't have to say it like that. Natsuki, you're being unfairly harsh. Salty, what would you say your main hobbies are? Wow, she really put me on a spot here. I know I'm playing it into your teasing right now, but yes, I spend a lot of time playing games and watching anime. And that's all you need to know. It's a bit rich coming from someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. What? Natsuki splutters through halt. Looks like a certain someone knows how to dish it out, but can't take it. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Salty always gives his best, as long as he's having fun. He's always been there when I need it. When we were kids, he'd always be around to help me with stuff. Oh, are you two childhood friends? I glance at Sayori, despite her cheeky recollection of our childhood memories just then. Yuri's question is a reminder that we haven't spent much time together in a long time. It's a tad awkward. Yeah, we've known each other for a while, haven't we? We smile at each other. I'm really hoping we can use the club to reconnect. Such a history with one another. I bet you share much together. You could say that. Would you believe Sayori is still as clumsy now as she was 10 years ago? Hey, meanie, that's not true. Oh, need I tell Yuri about the time you tried to cook lunch and almost set the house on fire? Her face turns pink and she rushes to interrupt me. Anyway, I'm sure you two could be just as good of friends. After all, you're both in the literature club now. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yuri looks hopeful at hearing this, although I can't help but wonder. Given the maturity and intelligence she's carrying so elegantly, and know her passion for reading is much stronger than my own, will it be as easy as Yuri thinks it is? Still, it's worth a try. Yay! Oh, Yuri, even brought up something today, you know? Brought you something. Wait, Sayori. Me? It's not much, really. It's not much, really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. Whatever it is, I'm sure I'll like it. What is it, Yuri? Why'd she bring me something? She's not supposed to be my girlfriend this route. Sayori made it sound a big deal when it's really not. I was really going to wait to give it to you at the appropriate time, but... Oh, I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking. Now I've ruined the surprise. The two girls both look dolefully down. Guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So this is a little pleasant surprise to me. Just knowing that you went through the effort to get me something makes me feel really welcomed. No matter what, I'm sure it'll make me happy. Is that so? Of course. Thank you for being so considerate, Yuri. You're welcome. It was the least I could do. Anyway, if that's the case, here it is. Yuri reaches in her bag and pulls out a book. I don't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? Down, Salty, down! She's even picked out a book she thinks I might possibly like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, I'm abruptly cut off by Natsuki. Uh-oh! Eat it! Oh wait, no, that's not her voice. Oh crap. Oh, I forgot it. 1 second. Now my body's just fighting back. You didn't want him to... Oh, it hurts. You didn't want him to feel left out. What's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to say that he doesn't like my book or something? Because that's just not true. He freaking loves manga, just like me, right, Salty? Looks like another Yuri-Natsuki argument is cropping up again. I glance over Yuri to find a variety of different emotions running over her face. She seems conflicted between standing up to herself and backing down to keep the peace. After a beat, she opens her mouth to speak, her resolve strengthened. Natsuki, that's not what I meant to say at all. I was simply referring to the fact that Salty may not have much of a literature collection himself, given that he has said that he is not a reader. Giving him a book is a totally different genre would benefit him in broadening his knowledge on the literature world. Yuri suddenly appears to notice that all her eyes are on her. I apologize if I worded that harshly. No, you're fine, Yuri. While I definitely do love manga, I think that I do well to read different things, too, once in a while. Seems to sense that she can't win the argument. Natsuki almost visibly backs down. Her outspoken nature really doesn't make up for her physical stature. Whatever. Natsuki. Guys, let's just stop fighting. Everyone has their own super good taste in literature, so we shouldn't keep arguing over it. I'm sure that I'll enjoy everyone's recommendations equally as much. After all, you guys are all smart and definitely more experienced in literature than me. I'm just gonna say that I wasn't trying to attack you or whatever. It's just that there are a lot of people who judge manga without even trying to read it themselves. So yeah. I guess that's the closest we're gonna get to a apology from Natsuki. And with that, the tension in the room slowly dissipates. It feels as though everyone in the room was holding in their breath until now. Yuri quickly hands me the copy of the book she's holding. Well, thanks, Yuri. You're welcome. You should read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. After a brief pause, the girls move on to do their own things. Man, it seems to be harboring of awkwardness when it comes to Natsuki and Yuri. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off the scheduled activities for the club. Like the poetry thing. I've already steeled myself for the critique I'll probably be receiving. But it seems that we have some downtime before then. Oh well, looks like I won't be able to just immediately get it over with. Huh, what's the others doing right now? Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Probably discussing club matters, given that they're the president and vice president. As expected, Yuri's face is also buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. A few hooks of annoyance sounds from her direction every once in a while. I hear a sigh from the closet, presumably Natsuki. Sounds like she's annoyed by something. I approach her curiously. Hey, something wrong? Freaking Monica! She moved my stuff again. I spent all this time organizing my collection and she comes in and ruins it! As she complains, Natsuki carefully slides boxes and stacks of books across the shelf. Once they're in an orderly fashion, she turns around to face me. Do you have my manga? Wait, do you have my manga? Oh yeah, here, let me get it. I quickly retrieve the book Natsuki lent me yesterday and hand it over to her. She examines the cover and pages looking for any spots or damage. After finding nothing, she slides the novel into its rightful place in one of the boxes. Don't you take care of your manga? Yeah, don't let it get to your head. Still need to pass the quiz before we can start the next one. You were serious? What? You thought I was joking? Here at the Literature Club, we take reading very seriously. Now sit down and get ready. Alright. I sit down at the desk while Natsuki sits parallel from me. Alright, first question. Which girl ends up falling down the stairs in Chapter 7? I didn't really get that far. The expression that comes over Natsuki's face honestly scares me a little. What? How did you not finish? The first volume is like the shortest one of all of them. I'm sorry. I was working on my poem most of the night, so I didn't have time to read it. Natsuki's expression changes from that of anger to disbelief. Your poem? Yeah, I put some effort into it. Natsuki eyeballs me suspiciously before sighing. Fine. I guess we can read it here. Well, your poem better be really good. Yeah. I have little experience with writing in general, much less poems. So I feel that Natsuki will only get angrier with me once she sees my lackluster writing abilities. But that's a problem we'll deal with later. By now I have to finish the first volume of Parfait Girls. Natsuki hesitates to the closet to receive the novel once again. She comes back, manga in hand, and points to the floor. We're gonna sit there. But why? Because it's a lot easier than trying to read in chairs. That doesn't really make any sense. Just do it, okay? Don't need to argue over little things. What is it arguing? I stopped myself short when I realized I'm probably just getting on Natsuki's nerves. If possible, I'd like to try and avoid making her angry. I mean, alright. Oh, that's cute. She looks like a little hamster. I said that in my last Literature Club playthrough. But she's adorable. I sit down next to Natsuki while she hands me the novel. I flip up into the part where I left out, but Natsuki speaks up before I can begin. You only got that far? Well, I may have watched some anime last night too. Natsuki furrows her eyebrows at me. I quickly start reading as to avoid another scolding. Still, does this have like an overarching plot or some sort? Of course it does, dummy. Where do you think I have good taste? I have standards, you know. Hey, I never said I didn't think you had good taste. It's just, nothing has really happened yet. It's just one of an offside story so far. Well, that's just to help me get to know the characters. Like the chapter where they get all the shopping mall. Gives you a better idea of what each of the girls like and don't like. There's an overarching plot, but the first volume is more like an introduction to the characters. I've read the entire series, so I do know what's happening. Alright, guess I'll take your word on it. Okay, I was checking with something. You sure do like this series, don't you? Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I can see why. It does have a lot of baking in it. It does, yeah. Coincidence? Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't start baking just because of this manga. Don't worry, I believe you. What? Well, I guess it's at least explains Natsuki's interest in baking. She is really good at it, though. So it's not like a bad thing. Continue reading for a while I reach the end of the novel. As I close the book, Natsuki snatches it from my hand and heads for the closet. She places the novel in its rightful spot and digs around for the second volume. So, did you enjoy it? Yeah, I did, actually. It's a bit slowly right now, but if what you say is true, it'll start getting good in the second volume. Speaking of which, Natsuki positively holds up the second volume. Let's get started! Wait, okay, everyone. It's time to share poems. If this isn't good timing, I don't know what it is. I thought you liked manga. Seriously? We're just about to start the second one. Well, you can always read it tomorrow, can't you? Fine. Natsuki, defeated, puts her manga back in the closet and retrieves her poem. I grab mine from my bag as well. By the way, did you remember to write a poem? Don't worry, I'm not that much of a slacker. I got it right here in my bag. I rifled through some stray papers to pull out the page that I wrote from my poem on. While I can't help but feel a little nervous, I have to admit that I'm excited now. Talking to these girls has really calmed my nerves, and now I'm just eager to share my poem. After all, judging by each girl's personality, I doubt that anyone would say anything nasty about it. Well, Natsuki. I don't know if she'd be unduly harsh, though. She just seems like the type of person who enjoys ripping on her friends. Either way, I hope they realize that I put hard work into it. I figured that it'd only be fair to repay their welcome by showing effort in club activities. Now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a neat, black composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. She's going to put us all to shame. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. Okay. What gotta do, Monica, of course, first. I should start with Monica. Yesterday, she seemed eager to read my poem. I want her to know I'm putting effort into it. Hi, Salty. Hope you've been enjoying your time here. Yeah, definitely. I probably sound like a broken record by now, but everyone's been really welcoming. Well, a broken record isn't so bad when it plays something so nice. I guess so. Anyway, since you're new and everything, feel free to bring up any questions or concerns you might have. It's my duty as president to make sure that everything is perfect. I have to say that you've been doing a good job of that already. I doubt that I'll ever have anything to complain about. Either way, I've always opened to new suggestions for the club as well. So don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. She says that, but it's gotta be a bit imitating trying to criticize Monica of all people. I really don't think that there's going to be anything I need to speak up about it, either. One of the other girls would probably say something before I even needed to. Natsuki definitely would. Now that that's out of the way, feel like sharing your poem with me? I mean, I don't really have the choice in the matter, do I? You shouldn't be thinking like that. Yeah, I was just joking. Kinda. It's alright, Salty. I get that it's probably really awkward for you to share creative work when you're just a beginner. Especially since the rest of us have a bit more experience than you do. That's an understatement. Don't worry though, we're all a little embarrassed today, you know? I don't think many people out there share their poems on a regular basis. But it's the sort of thing that you get used to pretty quickly, once you get it over with. Yeah, that's true. And my poem over with a sigh. Don't grade me too harshly. You'll be fine. I watched nervously as she quickly scans through my poem. Ebert, it's a nice poem, Salty. Huh, you think? Although I have to say that it's a lot cuter than something I would have expected out of you. My poems are cute! Is that bad? No, of course not. It's just something that I would have thought Natsuki would have written, for instance. She's a great writer, so you have to take that as a compliment. It's going to be interesting to see what Natsuki thinks of my poem, because she's never liked my poetry. Ever. And I've done this game twice now. 3 times if you count the good ending of Yuri. I see. But I skipped that part, so they don't matter. I don't know. I guess I was in a cutesy sort of mood or something. Ah, so you have a cute side as well. That's not what I was trying to say. I'm not cute. I meant that I was thinking about more cheery stuff. Or something. I get it. But still, have you ever read anything by Shel Silverstein? He sounds familiar. Maybe when I was a kid? My mom used to take me to the library when I was little, so... Well, he wrote a lot for children, so I wouldn't be surprised if you did. I haven't heard of him. He's famous for using simple words and conversation tones to tell all sorts of stories. His poems are all a variety of different lengths and cover a range of different emotions. They can be funny, endearing, sad. Even though most people think of him as a children's author and poet, most of his works express universal views of the world. And he actually wrote some black comedy as well. So you could say that he was pretty good at subverting expectations. Interesting. So is Natsuki kind of like that? You could say that. She's not quite the Renaissance man that Silverstein is. But you probably won't find much filler in her poems. They may seem easy enough to read, though, on the surface, but they can pack a lot of meaning in very few words. I see. It's definitely a type of poem that's fun to explore. Yeah, I'm sure I'll end up doing a lot of different things before I settle on my own style. And it still takes a while before I'm completely comfortable sharing my writing. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I'll probably be more surprised if you immediately started writing with your own style. Most people go through the same process that you're going through right now. Trying new things is the best way to find the kind of style that suits you after all. Anyway, when you talk to everyone about it, naturally they'll be a bit biased towards their own styles. After all, I know I am. But don't force yourself to write in some way just because someone else wants you to. You should try to focus on what you want to do. Feel free to ask me for help anytime, though. I try to be as objective as possible when I talk to people about these topics. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. That's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? Anyway, I'm always on duty as club president, eh? Well, let's get to reading then. We got the box! What's in the box? I see, but I don't believe. A lone fingerprint, glistening on gleaming glass. Was it me? Was I always the one in the dark? A pound on the glass, my prison. Why? Why me? The pain jolts me back. The understands pour down like heavy rain. It's all a farce. My heart's on display. My life's but a script just playing away. The world out there had seemed so bright. It was so free. So many choices. So much potential. Maybe I could have had a chance. I realize now that there was never a choice. I was stuck in this box. And they on the other side chose for me. So what'd you think? I don't quite know how to say it. You are already self-aware. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. I definitely get a kind of feeling from reading your poem, but I'm not sure how to put it into words. I can understand that. Just try to articulate it however you want. You can use metaphors outside of poetry, you know. Well, when you put it like that, I know I'd say that your poem is kind of abstract, very vague at least. I can't quite tell what exactly you're talking about, but even so, I can feel what the speaker's feeling. I disagree. I mean, I think that poem was pretty clear as day, but then again, we already coming at this game with already expectations and already know what's going on in the background. Yeah, I think that describes my poem pretty well. Really? I do like my metaphors. Well, you'd probably be hard-pressed to find a poem without a metaphor, actually. Yeah, that'd be pretty well covered in English class, at least. The ability to convey emotions and concepts through words, describing things even the writer might never have experienced before. I feel that really powerful. When you write metaphorically, it allows the reader to focus on the emotion in the poem. I guess it kind of opens it up for the reader to have their own interpretations. Exactly! It's fascinating when people can divert from the creator's original intent to find their own meaning in a work of art. Oh, yeah. What was your original intent then? I think it'd be more fun if you try to figure it out yourself. That is interesting. What is her intent in this mod? Because technically this is not Monica who has figured out. Well, it might could be. Because we had to have Monica from DDLC activate the mod for us. So maybe she's already just playing the role as she wants to play. But that would mean that she would be changing the poem, right? Changing the poem again anyway. So, I don't know. That just makes me more curious now. Maybe I'll tell you one day. In a dreadful, dreadful way. But for now, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or anything for that matter, you get too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. So the best thing to do is just to force yourself to get through something down on the paper, and then tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and write whatever is in your heart. Easier said than done. I get what she's trying to say though. It's better to look back on your work with fresh eyes after you've gotten something down sometimes. That's my advice for you today. Thanks for listening. Now we got everybody else. Let's go down the line. Yuri. She'll hate it. Yuri stares at my poem. A minute passes more than enough time for her to finish reading. Is everything okay? Oh goodness, sorry. I know what I want to convey, but I need to find the right words. I understand. Take your time. Well, it's very special. This is a high school, but I think you'd be more suited in, Weenie Hut Juniors. Okay, I think I know what I want to say. Do you have any prior writing experience? To be honest, not really. Is it that obvious? I don't mean to be rude, but I guess that might be after reading through it. So it's that bad. No! Did I just miss my voice? Oh, sorry. Yuri brushes her face in her hands. I can't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. Yuri seems to be incredibly introverted. It might take her a long time to warm up to new people. Don't worry about it. We'll all start somewhere, right? What were you saying? Right, I just noticed a few quality consistence with newer writers that show up in your poem. Perhaps what stands out the most is that you've tried very hard to make the structure of your poem your own. That's okay, but this is your first poem you've written. It might be prudent to be consider more traditional structures. Couplets, sonnets, haikus, and the like. If you're not confident in your writing style, I'll show you it in your piece. It'll show in your piece. It's like Yuri is a totally different person once she gets going. She sounds incredibly confident and stands tall, speaking clearly. Again, that's not your fault. I think that once you studied poetic structure and technique a bit more, you'll be able to put together a truly wonderful composition. Appreciate the feedback, Yuri. Sounds like you're well versed in this sort of thing. Would it be okay if I took a look at what you've written? Oh goodness, of course. Please let me know what you think. I'll be thrilled to explain my process. Yuri smiles dreamingly as if there's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature book? I wonder, is she going to, so Tumble. Tumble is her first poem that you have to read, so it's not randomized. Interesting. But I wonder if she gonna be pissed in, like, the second or third poem that I appreciate, like, Natsuki was like, no, I'm not reading your shit. Is she gonna be like, sorry, I'm not gonna read your shit, sorry. Tumble, hail, falls down like discarded dust of overused emotions, dragging down blankets made of want. slender string pierces my eyelids, barely painful in pulling them shut. Ever so heavy, ever so heavy. I think I misplaced something. Is there a piece missing? You need all these pieces to fix something. Please don't look for it. These are important things for you to do today. I'm sorry if my writing is a bit illegible. Once my pen touched the paper, I just want to get my thoughts down. That's fine, Yuri. I was able to read it just fine. I wasn't thinking that at all. Are you sure? It seems to take you a while to read it. Well, I guess I don't see cursive often, but it's really nice when I do. Your writing's actually quite pretty. So? I'm glad you think so. Makes your poem stand out even more as well. It's as though your handwriting fits your word choice, or vice versa. Was it too short, was it? I'm used to writing long pieces, but since this is the first time we're sharing, I thought it'd be easier to share. That makes sense. Do you mind telling me what it is it's about? Oh, I'm not sure I understand. Sorry, I didn't mean to write something confusing. Oh, it's not that. I just want to be sure I'm reading it properly. I see. I suppose from a curious glance it might not be obvious. But part of what poetry magically is how you can conjure up a vivid image with your words. While on the surface it might seem a bit out there, if you look a little deeper, you might be able to find a deeper meaning hidden amongst the lines, compounded by the metaphors used. For example, the words and images in this poem aren't meant to be taken at face value. It's supposed to represent the last remnant of something lost to the past, and the sense of plaintive longing that comes with it, like dead parents. That's pretty impressive when you put it that way. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. But thanks for the compliment. Hopefully during your time here, you understand our poetry will grow, and things will change. And these things will come to you naturally. I'll do my best. Thank you for sharing with me, Yuri. Of course! And now we have Natsuki. We've never had Natsuki like anything, so... Earth to Natsuki. What? Hey, don't make it seem like I'm spacing out. Just... Okay, let's start with what I don't like. First of all, Natsuki reads the poem again. Actually, never mind. I don't feel like giving you my opinion. What's the point in sharing at all? I feel like we've had this conversation before. Didn't we get the Natsuki route? Don't literature clubs, like, share constructive criticism or something? No, it's just... Natsuki fails to come back with a follow-up. She's obviously uncomfortable about something. For what I've seen, it's certainly not giving out criticism. Hey, this is my first time sharing my poems too. It's been uncomfortable for all of us, yeah, but we should still try and help each other. It's not that. I feel more comfortable if your poem was really bad. I could be like, not that bad, but here's what the work on a real poet looks like. But, oh, I understand what she means now. She likes it! She's uncomfortable because she liked my poem, but doesn't know how to compliment me. I get what you mean. Natsuki looks relieved at my statement. Can I see your poem now? Fine. Only because Monica's gonna make me either way. Sometimes, some folks are winners. Some only lose. Some are go-getters. Some only cruise. Sometimes we try hard and give it our all. Sometimes we give up. What else can we do? It's better with her voice. It really is. Told you you'd hate it. Actually, I like it. What? Don't you just say it's good because I'm a girl? Be honest. What? No, it's nothing to do with you being a girl. I generally like the poem. Really? Yeah, it's simple, but still pretty effective. Finally, someone who gets it. People in high school think poetry has to be so formal and vague. But they don't realize that simple writing is just as effective, if not more. The reader should have to search for the meaning. That's just stupid. I need to smoke after this. Besides, the simpler the writing, the more emphasis on wordplay. Like how it makes most of the lines start with some. Yeah, I noticed that. Maybe the last couplet seemed more powerful. Yeah, this is exactly what I was going for. Well, good job then. Yeah, didn't expect that from the youngest of the club, did you? Yeah, I guess not. Well, I think we had that conversation once before. I remember having it. So, I don't know. You said this is your first poem, right? Yeah, why? It impressed me. Especially for your first poem. Maybe this really is the place for you. Come on, it's not that good. I mean, it's not like I'm used to writing poems or anything. Did she jump up and down? I was like, oh my gosh, Salty, it's so good when I had my Yuri one. It's kind of interesting that they have different reactions. But thanks, I guess. Don't be so hard on yourself, Salty. Everyone has to start from somewhere. You're already off to a good start. Anyway, I guess I can show you mine now. Don't expect too much, though. I'm not very good at this. Only one way to find out. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you tasting? Are you? Are you tasting me? Are you testing me to wish away a rainy day? I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. But if it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Well, what do you think? I hesitate as I answer. It's not that it was a bad poem. In fact, it was great. I'm just really inexperienced with poetry, especially feedback. It's really, you. What's that supposed to be? As in the poem just really reminds me of you. Made me feel really good inside. Really? Yeah, I had no idea what to expect, and this is my first time reading your poetry. But the way this was written, I don't know, it feels really wholesome, so cheery. Like you are. And I also really like the last line. Trust you of all people to include breakfast in their poems. Hey, I was eating it when I Sayori stopped speaking immediately as if she accidentally let something slip. Oh, so you wrote the poem this morning. No. Maybe. Forgot to write it last night. Well, at least we know where your inspiration came from. Eggs and toast. Well, I suppose it sounds silly, but it works. Then it isn't silly. Aha. Either way, thanks for showing me your poem, Sayori. It was really good. I'm happy you think so. Anyway, next time I won't forget. Tomorrow's poem will be even better. I'll hold you to that. Phew. Guess that's everyone. I think there's a fight going on. Fight! 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 Yeah! I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. This was surprisingly fun, albeit a bit stressful. I already knew that I wouldn't be able to write to the quality of the girls, but I tried my best. Everyone here is incredibly talented. Well, all the girls at least. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting again. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They generally... Sorry, I'm trying to burp away from the thing, you know. When I talk, it just happens. Like, I'm sorry, I know it's gross, I'm sorry. They generally exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As I watched Natsuki breeze through Yuri's poem, her eyes skipped over the words. Meanwhile, Yuri stares at the paper in her hand, smiling sadly. Natsuki quickly hands Yuri her poem back. How do you smile sadly? What is that? Sorry, I was trying it. I don't have a face cam, so you can't even see what I was doing. Here, I'm done. Oh, here, I'm done. Already? Yeah, it's not like it was super hard to read. I'm not literate, you know. My eyes are watering now. I'm gonna kill myself. From the pain in my throat. I don't know. It was hard for me to understand, at least. I just wanted to make sure that you caught all the figurative language that I've employed. Yeah, I did. It was fancy. Thanks. However, I believe that you enjoy it more if you look deeper into it. I enjoyed it plenty already. Anyway, are you finished with my poem then? Yours is cute. Cute? Didn't you learn anything from our conversation yesterday? Yuri looked shocked, regret seeping into her expression. Seems like both girls still held their own prejudice despite whatever common ground they had. How can it be cute? You're standing there thinking that I haven't read your poem, but really you who hasn't read my poem. It's clearly about the push and pull between giving up and trying hard. I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. Or maybe you should look deeper into my poem, because I use that type of language on purpose. I see. But if I may give a suggestion, the more involved subject matter may be better suited to more complex dictation. The art of poetry is deeply intertwined with... Look, I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me. I'm sorry, but I don't quite understand. Writing in this way doesn't make you look cool or smart, okay? It just makes you look super pretentious. If you write with a thesaurus open next to you, you're just going to alienate everyone. Using all these big words to make up for a lack of depth. Poetry isn't about impressing people, so you can just stop. Holy crap. I stare wide-eyed as Monica and Sayori, who have now all fallen silent. They stare back at me, looking unsure of what to do. I guess that they don't usually have many arguments in the club. Although tension between Natsuki and Yuri always seemed kind of high. Lack of depth. Yeah, that's right. So if I can't give some suggestions now... Excuse me? I appreciate the offer, but I really must ask. What makes you believe that I'll accept your advice after you've been so rude to me? Huh? Rude? That was just blunt honesty. Do you even consider the other people don't hold the same opinions as you? What are you trying to say? Do I really need to spell it out for you? Yeah, I do. I want to see if you're really going there. The irony. How dare you to say it? Alright. Yuri gives a small laugh of disbelief. I must thank you, Natsuki. I've never been this angry in my life. It actually gives me the courage to speak up. Is this why you're angry all the time? Guys, we shouldn't. This doesn't involve you. Sayori, please don't rob me of my moment. So this is your moment to shine or something. Strange thing to take pride in, don't you think? No. It's my moment to finally speak my mind. Well, I still have the strength to. Yuri. Natsuki, have you ever realized how selfish you are? Suddenly, Yuri seems to be overpowering everyone else in the room. What? Everything always needs to go your way. You always jump to conclusions and make rash decisions without regard to the consequences. It's never your fault, is it? You don't know me. No, you don't know me either. And yet you spoke as if you knew everything about me. Quite simply, you don't. The very fact you don't think about that your blunt honesty was incredibly rude just shows to show how narrow-minded you truly are. Seizing her moment, Yuri boldly carries on, disdain dripping from each word. I know it must be a different concept for you to understand, but the whole world doesn't revolve around you and your manga. So tell me, why would I take advice from someone who can only see their own perspective? Everyone knows it. Monica, Sayori, even Salty. Don't you remember how hostile you were to Salty when you first joined us? I wasn't being hostile. We haven't had a new member in a long time. Sorry, not Suppy, for keeping on my toes. That's how I talk to everyone, not just Salty. Am I supposed to change my whole personality to cater to know you think I should be? How you think I should be? Salty has a problem with my jokes, he can tell me. You don't get to speak for him. Yuri closes her eyes and shakes her head, carrying on as if she didn't hear the outburst. Do you really expect a new member to be able to speak up so easily? Not everyone is unafraid of being a brutish cretin as you. What? The rest of us were so excited to have a new member. Would that thought ever cross your mind? No, you just let your own selfishness thought dictate your behavior. Selfish? They weren't so. You couldn't scare it off. That might have been what you wanted. What about the rest of us? I just explained myself, for God's sakes. But as per usual, you aren't listening. You know, for someone who's been ranting on about how narrow-minded I am, you're pretty intolerant yourself. There, I used a big word. Do I sound like Shakespeare yet? Am I worthy of your attention now? Ouch, both girls really have their claws out. Also, Monica and Sayori didn't have any issues with me yesterday. It's just you. Of course they did, Natsuki. They just didn't say anything. Monica is too responsible, and Sayori's too kind. So why don't we ask Salty then, as the more unbiased spectator? Fine. Salty, who's right, me or Yuri? I think it goes on, Hey, today's the 1st of February. Happy February, guys. How did I get dragged into this first place? I didn't even know what they want me to decide on at this point. Should I just narrate all the personal stuff and just talk about their poetry? That's what started the argument, after all. It's not like I'm a good judge of writing qualities, given that I'm just a beginner. I don't think it would be fair for me to take either side either, especially since I'm new here. Maybe I should just defer to one of the club leaders. Yay, we can choose either one. I'll just go with Sayori. I don't think it matters. I hate being put on the spot like this, but Yuri and Natsuki are looking at me. While their hostile isn't aimed at me, I can feel like I'm a target for the anger in their eyes. Guys, I go up nervously as a bead of sweat trickles down my neck. I'm really not the best judge for this. After all, I'm new, so I'm painfully aware of how weak my voice sounds. Neither girl looks impressed. Wow, real help you are. Natsuki. Let me guess, blah blah blah, you're being so weird, you're a broken record, Yuri, shut up! Ah, so you finally realize how insulted you are. You got there in the end, well done. You are such a bit. Stop! We're all stunned into silence. I've never heard Sayori angry before, and even Natsuki looks taken aback. Anyway, immediately, the anger on Sayori's face was replaced by a flood of tears. The anger gives way to sadness. Guys, enough of this. Please. You're tearing apart this club. Please don't do this. I love this place so much, and you guys are both my friends. I hate when people fight. It's horrible. This place means so much to me. I know it means a lot to you guys as well. So please, can we stop arguing over whose style is better? It doesn't even matter. You're both unique, and that's what counts. Yuri and Natsuki are both looking incredibly ashamed of themselves. I guess neither of them expected that their argument would hurt Sayori so much. That one raging fire has been snuffed out and replaced with smoldering embers. I really like your simple style, Natsuki. It's so nice to sit down and read a poem that springs to life. I know the others do as well. Monica and I nod in earnest, pinning a small smile on Natsuki's face. And Yuri, I'm amazed at how complex and deep your poems are. They're really in-depth. But there's no need to argue over which style is better. You can't really compare them anyway. It depends on what mood you're in. She's right, guys. Sometimes you're just in the mood for something simple. Sometimes you might want something a bit more complex. It's like music or movies. People like a variety of things. You can't really say that the comedy as a genre is better than action, can you? Both types appeal to different things. You should watch an action movie for laughs. You wouldn't watch an action movie for laughs, would you? Look over to Sayori, giving her a reassuring smile. She returns with a watery smile of her own, rubbing her tears away. You said it, Salty. She turns to face Yuri and Natsuki once more. Now you both said some stuff that was pretty mean, but I know neither of you meant it. Neither of you are narrow-minded. Although it would be nice if you would like each other's stuff a bit more. So could you try doing that a little? Please, for me? For the club? I can't help but laugh as she puts on puppy dog eyes. I don't think she realized the right time to use them. Sure, whatever, I'll try. Yuri takes a deep breath, finally lifting her eye off the floor. You're right, Sayori, I also make more of an effort. And Natsuki. What? Natsuki still looks quite defiant, as though expecting another insult from Yuri. I apologize for what I said. Your style has still merits. Natsuki blinks as though slapped in the face. She clearly wasn't expecting an apology. Meh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Your style is cute. She puts her eyes forward downward once more. That's what I'm trying to say is, you write pretty well. I shouldn't have said that stuff. Me neither. There's an awkward silence. That's much better, guys. Thank you for putting your differences aside. We all really appreciate it. I'll go and make some tea. She rushes off as Natsuki wanders over to the closet. I glance over at Monica. She hasn't said a word throughout the whole argument, which surprises me. I should have been the one who said all that. Why didn't you then? I winced at the words leave my mouth. They sounded more accusatory than I would have expected. Well, I know I'm the leader and I run this club, but I'm not the greatest with people. I frowned. If she isn't great with people, how can she run a club? She must have caught the confusion on my face as she hastened to explain. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm fine with people, it's just their drama. I can't really deal with it. Well, that's why you have Sayori, right? She's an excellent vice president, able to deal with conflict much better than I can. Which is pretty embarrassing, at least for me. That should have been my duty to deal with, not hers. I don't blame you, seriously. It was pretty tough to get involved. I could barely speak up. True, but what exactly the sort of thing that a president should be able to deal with? Ah, come on, Monica. Don't say it like that. You and Sayori just have different strengths, that's all. I always thought of her as a little ditzy sometimes, but she definitely has a knack for social situations. Definitely. I'm very grateful to have her as my vice president. Well, the both of you do a real good job running this place. I know that's a bit of an early assessment. But you know, first impressions and all. She smiles sweetly at me, causing my stomach to knot. You're too kind, Salty. I'm glad Sayori brought you along to the club. I really do hope you stick around. Don't worry, I will. Monica seems like such a genuine person that she makes a great president, regardless of what she may think. Hopefully I'll be able to properly get to know her a bit during the school year. Yay, Monica! Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How did y'all feel about sharing your poetry? I noticed that she carefully avoided mentioning the argument that just occurred. It was a lot of fun. Some moments were worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Salty, how about you? I actually really enjoyed myself. It seems I do like expressing myself through poetry, a lot more than I initially thought. Everyone looked intently at me, the girl smiling at me. Aww. Here we go again. It was really cool getting to see everyone's different writing styles. That's awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And hopefully you'll learn something from us too. So your poems will turn out even better. Ah, yeah. I think to myself as a bit began to pack up. Today I managed to learn a little bit more about the kind of poems that everyone likes. With any luck, I'll be able to learn more about the girls as individuals throughout their themes and messages. I nodded to myself, turning to Sayori. Hey Sayori, ready to walk home? Sure! Okay, see you guys tomorrow then. As we leave the club room, Sayori turns back to wave at the girls. I do the same. Natsuki smiles and then quickly looks away to act like she doesn't care. Yuri awkwardly smiles and nods. And as expected from the school idol, Monica gives a friendly grin and looks back. Sayori, about what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Ruby told me yesterday that sometimes they bicker, but are all their arguments normally that bad? I feel a little guilty as I asked her, as I know she doesn't like talking about conflict. There's a slight dip in the cheeriness of her voice as she replies. No, not at all. They have their differences, but it's the first time I've ever seen them fight like that. It's because there's a boy in the area. They smell boy. We're both wonderful people. I promise. You don't hate them or anything, do you? No, not at all. It's only normal for people to argue. Guess I was just curious after all. You know, them better than I do. Sorry, let's have a relieved sigh. You know, Salty, it's been so nice seeing you again. I don't really think we get much time spent together with one another again. I messed up those words. Hey, didn't really think we'd get to spend much time with one another again. Yeah, tell me about it. It's been really fun hanging out again. I don't really know when we started drifting or why. Guess it was just life coming between us. She nods, looking real reflective. Still, I'm glad you let me join your club. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was a bit doubtful when you told me it was about literature. But hey, I guess it goes to show that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. She giggles and I frown. Did I say something funny? You got that one from Natsuki, didn't you? What? Oh right, she did say that yesterday. Sayori might be known as a bit of an airhead, but sometimes she can really notice things that others don't. I wonder what it is really like inside her head. You haven't changed at all, Salty. You already knew how it might make me laugh. I blushed slightly. I never really know how to react to the compliment, especially when it comes from someone of the opposite sex. I glad I'm still able to do that. I'll be honest though, I didn't think I'd be able to make new friends by joining this club. Well, they're a real nice bunch. I'm not surprised. Yeah, pretty warm welcome. She nods contentedly. Anyway, let's see what the future holds. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow. The girls are all interesting characters, aren't they? Different personalities and a variety of writing styles. Yet they all united under the same club. Briefly wonder how Monica found all of them. In just 2 days, I feel like I've made progress with each member. Getting to know Yuri and Natsuki, actually getting to talk to Monica a little bit, and of course, reuniting with an old friend. I never would have guessed that would have all come from joining the club. But hey, I'm not complaining. Let's just hope my writing improves over time so I can write poems to a standard more like theirs. Speaking of which, there's work to be done tonight. Let's do this. Yay! Well, yay, guys. I think that's gotta be it for this episode. This was our first attempt at Natsuki, the Natsuki route, and I hope you all are enjoying this, and that voice is gonna kill me. But hey, we do it for laughs, don't we? So I'll see you guys. You all take care. Bye-bye.